So you want to make documentary films? In this video I'm going to show you the basics of documentary filmmaking. My name is Jonny von Wallstrom and I'm a documentary filmmaker. I made films for over 20 years, sold films to Netflix and other broadcasters, and I love making documentaries. These are my favorite tips to get you started. So first off, realize that this is a very competitive field. There are so many people that love making documentaries, and the best way to stick out is to have a unique, like magically good story. You know the feeling, right? You have an idea, you start telling a story that you really like, but the consequences of doing that and not thinking enough about what people are, in the industry and the audience are thinking about it is going to have great consequences in the end. You might not be able to sell your film, you might not be able to reach the audience you want and anticipate. There are many things that you as a professional filmmaker get very, very good at. Picking stories that are good for the market as well as the audience, as well as your personal creativity, as well as things that make a change, because that's in the end what documentary filmmakers love, right? Making films that actually create a change. With that said though, I don't think you should pick stories that is only catering to the market. I think that's dumb as f. So in this video I'm gonna tell you my secrets to make you a better documentary filmmaker. So make sure you watch till the end. So what does a great story have? Well, it has conflict. Strong characters, and they are fitting for the conflict, and the character needs to have a goal that they try to achieve throughout the film, and on the way there are massive amounts of obstacles to go through. Conflict, sometimes they beat them, sometimes they fail, and that's how you tell a great story. You have that back and forth action with conflict being the centerpiece and the goal being where you're striving towards. And then in the end, the character, it changes. There has to be change, otherwise there is no real film really. And how do I know that? Well, the master, Robert McKee, says that that's how it is. So I just believe him, because he has much more experience than me. And this might be very stupid. Ooh, slippery. I just gotta get back. Ooh, saved. So, if you want to become a great documentary filmmaker, you need to first become great at shooting stories. And how do you do that? Well, you pick the right one, first of all. Spend some time researching what that can be, because you're gonna, in the end, spend a lot of time with this until, it becomes something magical. So don't rush it. Spend time nailing whatever it is that you're trying to tell and the topic, and research if there's other films being made about it. It has to be unique. If it's not unique, then it's going to be difficult to get anybody interested in the project. Yeah, and then think about the structure. Like, structure is key if you want a film to be great. So without a structure that is great, it's going to be a messy film that very few understand.
Far away from you is where I want to be. Got some plans, make this money, then I'm on my way.
Identify the narrative themes and arc of your story. And then research even more, to find unique angles and to not make your story feel like, it's been done before.
Not today.
Realize that gear doesn't really matter. I mean, this is shot on an iPhone. Get it? Anybody can shoot with anything today. It's not about the gear. I have a tiny lav here and I have a recorder from Tentacle in my pocket. It's a tiny setup. It syncs to an app on the iPhone Pro Take. Like, anybody can do this, really. It's not that difficult. You just gotta practice. Create a production plan, like a pre-production plan. to schedule everything. That will help you to organize you. Get your gear in order, try it out before shooting. Really think about things for yourself. Like, how do you want to tell your story? How do you want to have it being shot? With what gear do you have to do that? And then those limitations that you have are great to work with. Those will guide you. Do you know who Zlatan is? Yeah, so football player, soccer player. He said this once: what John Karev does, which is a Norwegian football player, Zlatan is a Swedish one, like me. What John Karev does to a football, I can do with an orange. Meaning, what I can do with an iPhone, most people can't do with an Alexa. Don't listen to anybody that says that gear matters. They don't know anything about making films, really. They're the worst to ask for advice. Basically, that's it. Like, practice enough and anybody can do this. I don't think I'm special or anything. I'm just, very dedicated to shooting with something for a long time until I get great at it. And that's what you should do too. Practice until you get great at it by doing instead of talking about doing. But once you are sure what you want to make your film about, just reach out to the people that you want to have in the film, or try to research, the characters that you want to be in the film. What's that? Hopefully not a bear or a wolf. Huh. Yeah, so reach out to the people, and then hopefully if so reach out to the people that you want in your film. Start to film them as soon as possible, I think, because that sort of gives you a clear view if they will work or not. What I like doing is going out, shooting a little bit with them for a day. At the end of the day, I usually do an interview where I find out more. During the day, I will talk to them, about what they're doing. I might throw out questions and all that and have a conversation with them. But that's mainly to make them comfortable while I film. Because first I want to get them comfortable with the camera before I sit down and have an interview. Most people, I think, go straight into the interview, and I have experience with that, and it usually is a really bad interview, and you might not even be able to use it in the end in the film, so I try to avoid that as much as I can. No, I heard it again. What? I gotta get home. I don't want to be eaten by a bear or anything. So, before you head out, last thing is create a scene list. It's gonna help you out because you stay organized and you know what. Don't just head out without a plan. I need an escape plan. Okay, so see you guys. Check out this video if you want to have more on storytelling. Okay, bye. Ciao.